And slowly open your eyes.
Can you help me to confront my insecurities? I'm very sure of myself and my work, but usually I'm full of judgments and I start getting insecure. So I want to see how to confront that situation.
So all humans are full of insecurities. Because we've been taught since we're very small that we're doing something well or something bad. And when we do something well, we get a prize. When we do something wrong, we get in trouble. Okay, and this starts at a very early age. And because we disconnect from internal love, we start looking externally. So we're always looking for that reward, or we're afraid of getting in trouble. We're trained to do that. And because there's so many shifting opinions, it's very hard to work out what to do in order to get approval. And you say when you're at work, you don't feel that. I don't know if you're the boss or you're just extremely secure at work. But in your personal life, in your intimate life, in your friendships, it's fragile. And you don't want to lose love. So you're always anxious or insecure. Oh, we should have said that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it. Oh, I wonder if they still love me. Oh, maybe they're going to abandon me. Oh, why wasn't I invited to the party? Oh, they don't like me. And we're like children. We have all these roles in our heads and we're not feeling centered. Now, when we have consciousness and we're loving ourselves, we stop looking for that external approval. It leaves. Because when you're complete within yourself, you're free to be you, to speak your truth, to be in the moment, you know, and if you're loving yourself, you're very clear that you can't get approval from the whole world. As long as you're being true to you. Okay, and that's called responsibility. I am responsible unto myself. You're responsible for you. You're responsible for you. You're responsible for you. How you feel is not my responsibility. It's your circles. And the same with how I feel is my responsibility. I have to change myself because I cannot change the outside. Okay, and consciousness gives you that. Once you find a silent place where you can anchor, where you can be yourself, where you feel secure, you stop worrying about that all the time. Because it's a constant torture. My need for approval, my need to be loved, and always the question, oh, did I do it well? Or did I do something wrong? And you'll start to see that. And the irony is, the moment you start loving you, the world mirrors that. And if it doesn't affect you. You know, you're not suffering everyone's opinion. Because everyone has a different opinion. So yes, the system's absolutely for that. And it's maybe one of the most important things, because humans absolutely suffer the fear of criticism or rejection. I think it's our biggest fear. I will not be loved. I will be abandoned. Yeah, and it's torturous, no? It's torturous. Yeah.
When we start doing things like put limits to people you love in the family or at work, as I am not going to continue doing things that they were used to. I confront two things in my head. One side, I'm calm because I'm doing something that moves forward in my well-being path and going towards my heart. My intuition is guiding me. And in the other side, I feel guilty.
Okay, I can answer. So, it's like you're in a transitional moment. You're not completely secure here, and you're not secure here. You're not satisfied here, but you're not trusting in the unknown. That's why people don't change, because they know that. They know the manipulations, they know the codependency, they know the drama, they know the security. Even if it's horrible, on some level, we feel safe. So when we're moving through to responsibility of self, complete responsibility, there's a transitional moment where you're walking between two worlds. And it's in that moment that we start to heal. And that's the beauty of the system. Because all of that insecurity, all of the manipulations, all of the things that transpire within our families or with our friends, or ultimately it's our families, no? It all starts to come to the surface. And we start to liberate it. We start seeing what serves in our life. And I'm not negating that. Maybe there's lots of wonderful things. Or maybe there's things that are wonderful that I can't even see because my head's so full of judgments and negativity. And ultimately they're with myself. So the system starts to remove all of this. That's why we unify. Move stress, move stress, move stress, move stress. And then we expand consciousness. More security. Unify. Move stress, move stress, move stress. Cultivate more consciousness. More security. And then with our eyes open, we start to witness the thoughts that take us into that place of suffering. And we start to use the facets to catch the drama and anchor in consciousness. But this is very strong. Very strong. And the illusion's completely supported within our bodies. The illusion of victimism. Okay, and as we eliminate that, or as that evolves, it stops holding us. And yes, we go through periods where it's good to be by ourselves. It's good to really start to enjoy your consciousness, being by yourself, going inwards, unifying a lot. Because the more you unify, the quicker you change. This is a fact. Because you have to transform internally You have to know self before you can transform. Okay, so all that you're saying is a very natural process. And it's great. It's great you're here. And you've got to stop that guilt. Because whatever happened before, you need to liberate that. Because all humans do things that they're not completely proud of, no? And it's funny because when you heal completely, you look back and it's like you don't even know who that person was. You don't even remember 90% of it. It was like a dream. Because once you're empowered, all of those behaviors, all the suffering, all the abuse that we do to ourselves, no? We look at it like, what was I thinking? But this is the human experience, no? And then we get to a point where we change.
It's 5 years I'm doing the system, and I can see that there are many things I can see. I can see my need of approval, I can see my need of control, but also I can see how in my mind I'm fighting to change that, not to be that I'm seeing. So I want to ask you more about that process. After you start looking certain things, how to transform them lovingly?
Well, you know, you can't force change. It has to come through love. You know, this is a tantric system. So what does that mean? It's about embracing all of life. It's not about negating or separating or having rules and regulations. It's about seeing and allowing it to move through. And bit by bit, all of these things that take you into suffering or frustration or judgment of self, they start to dissolve. But if you keep attacking them, it's like an addiction, no? All you think about is the addiction. Oh, I shouldn't smoke. It's bad for my health. No, I'm not going to smoke. But you just keep thinking about it all the time. And in the end you start smoking, suffering the fact that you're smoking. Okay? And you can't do that. That doesn't heal anything, because that becomes the focus. And the focus has to be on love. So you have to just keep thinking the facets and letting go. Always the focus has to be on the love. And the rest transforms. And, you know, stop doing a list of what you've changed and what you haven't changed. You know, just focus on the love. Because humans love to do that. They change completely, and then they find one little black dot. Here. There it is. And all my attention's there. But I'm not embracing and appreciating the big picture. Remember when you were totally asleep? Remember when everything was robotic? Remember when you just didn't have a clue? You were just repeating things or saying what your parents said or being against your parents. Like, we're so unconscious. And then we become conscious and we can see. And we have to appreciate that. You know, life is an evolution. God in evolution. Love in evolution. And it's eternal. That's why you're perfect in this moment. Because there's never, it's infinite. It's not finite. So you have to embrace the journey. You have to enjoy the journey. Not be focused on, oh, this is wrong, oh, that's wrong. It's like that. It's like that.
My question is related that I like to start projects. And after 2 months, few weeks, the passion goes away. I start feeling bored. I start feeling lazy about it. And in many areas happens at a job, in a personal projects, and habits, diets. The year I start with the purpose of something, and I feel super clear what I want. And really, I feel I want, but the passion goes away. And it becomes a heavy burden, and I abandon. Or I end being a mediocre. And I feel that doesn't allow me to shine and create big things. Shine outside and inside, because influence my spiritual practice also. Can you tell me something?
You know, I think when you really cultivate consciousness, you become important. You don't abandon yourself. How I feel, what I'm being in each moment, am I being excellent? It's not about the goal. It's about the responsibility of what I'm being and what I'm giving. But you get hooked into the expectation of how it should look. So you've got this burst of passion and enthusiasm, and then you don't see it quickly, and you lose interest. Yes? But it can't be like that. How do you become a master of anything? You keep repeating. But this society, we all want instant results. And the most important thing is you loving you. And when you abandon your projects, what happens? Oh, I did it again. I can't commit. I was on a diet. I went to the gym. Now I'm eating, and now I'm fat. And it goes on, no? That's your head, right? Yes. Okay, so you need to be more mature. And just more loving. You know, I always say that when you don't love yourself, your addictions are the most important thing. And all humans are addicted to suffering. So when you abandon yourself, what do? You suffer. Okay, bueno, ahora yo soy feliz, I'm sufriendo. ¿No?
I'm happy now and I can suffer.
It's true, no? We love that. Oh, I'm a loser. Yeah. And you have to catch it. You have to catch it. And just keep being loving. And not listening to our heads. You have to stop listening to your head. You know, it's basically only useful for where the car keys are and how to go home. And maybe who you're married to when you get there. Yeah, so you don't start kissing the maid, you know. Yeah, these things are important. But really, 90% of the thoughts that humans have, we don't even need. Because everything that we need to function comes automatically. But we love to think and analyse and compare and till there's smoke coming out of our ears. We don't trust in our hearts. We're not in the moment. Yeah. And then we start torturing ourselves. The judge in our heads.
My awakening of consciousness happened last year in an ayahuasca ceremony in difference with a companion. It was a good thing for me. I had a click. I read about your biography, how you also had a click when you were grown. And understanding it's not easy to teach that awakening to people that is sleeping. I could like to know, how did it start the Isha Foundation? How did you start to teach this system that you created?
Well, firstly, I was never going to be a spiritual teacher. You know, I was a horse trainer. I still am. But the thing is, once you wake up, you don't have a choice. It just happens. It's like a child with a secret. You know, I'm like, I found it. I found what I've been looking for all my life. So I started teaching people what I did, to live without fear, to be in the moment, to know who I am, but really know. And I want that for everyone. But it's automatic. It's just a natural byproduct of the expansion of consciousness or enlightenment. There's really nothing else to do. I don't have anything else to do. It's the only thing you can do. And that comes from compassion. You see yourself suffering because I see you suffering, and you suffering, and you suffering, and I am that. So I'm there for that. But it's a natural thing. I'm not trying to save people, because I already know you don't need saving. You're already that which you seek. But it's only a matter of time before you remember. So it all came from that. And I had lots of expansions when I was young. I always had a very high level of consciousness. But I didn't know. I thought it was normal. Or I thought it was abnormal because I was the weird one. Yeah? I'm very earthy, very normal. But I always had this awareness of unconditional love. Always. And it was just a byproduct of that. Yeah, but there was a period in my life where I was completely shut. Completely. Full of addictions, partying, you know, absolute yuppie, successful, money, all of the, everything, which was great too. It's all part of the process, no? But I think you get to a point where you've got everything, and I had everything, and it was like, and now what? And now what? And I decided I didn't want to live with fear anymore. Had no idea about enlightenment. None. I never read a spiritual book in my life. It was all like, whatever. But, and then after I woke up, I got invited everywhere. South America. And it went crazy. But really exploded. We were everywhere. You're welcome.
Since I was a child, I was a very hyper activity child, in movement, doing, and as I grew up, the intensity also grew, and I never stopped. This is the first time in 50 years that I stopped 1 month for myself. And I have been feeling very well. I never thought that I could be so comfortable with this kind of life, of doing nothing. It's very interesting.
But you're not doing anything.
Nothing. I always done. So in my normal life, it's very good. My job, my family, everywhere. I'm like a leader, but always having an action plan. I have a plan A, and then I have the B and the C in case if something doesn't work. How good is to be in that race against time, to do everything, and how I can slow down a bit.
Well, first you have to see what are you racing towards. Because I used to race away from myself because I couldn't stand being with me. I had so much pain, so much fear. I wasn't even conscious of it. So now you're going to see, why do I need to overachieve? Why do I need to run? What is it I'm looking for? And when you start to go in, you'll start to find what you've always been looking for. So you're running to avoid your ego. You're running to avoid the pain, the disillusionment, the abandonment, everything within you that is not real. But you're trying to run away from it. And you're trying to prove that you're not that. But then you'll start to find who you really are. And you'll start to enjoy that. And you'll start to spend more time there. And then you'll move into action within that space. And it's going to be a completely new experience. Because you'll be in the moment. You'll actually be present with everything that you're doing. So it's not about not being completely involved in life and enjoying life. It's about this perfect balance. I'm here, I'm giving 100%, I'm being excellent, I'm listening, I'm seeing, I'm conscious in this moment. Because when you're running, you're not. You're not. And your life will change. And you realize you don't need to run so much. Because everything you want's here. Here now. There's nothing to run towards. Hmm?
I was a runner.
Or you can keep running. But to be present. I run every day, but I'm present. Hmm? We have to find this balance. It's not about going and sitting on a mountain. It's not about negating life. It's about enjoying the gift of life 100%. But really enjoying it, celebrating life. But from a place of consciousness. Then we can really see how extraordinary our experience is. And our planet, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the little bit of green.
My question is, I don't remember if you said this in Mexico or I read it in a book, but resonated a lot. And you said that the ego is always talking hard from the punishment. And the heart always is sweet and loving. How can I? For me, it was very clear. It was very clear for me in that moment. But now I wonder, how can I identify the ego when the ego is talking lovingly? Oh. When he's talking
Okay,
lovingly.
it's not... I don't know where you read that. You know, the heart has an energy. And it's so clear. And it could be hard, no? It doesn't have to be sweet. But it's clear and it has an energy. And there's no doubt. The ego is always working in duality. It always has this question or this judgment or objective. It's always, there's confusion. But when you're in your heart, it's very clear. It just comes like that. And it's not always sweet. Sometimes it can be hard. And that's okay. But it's all unconditional love. But the ego is always making you suffer. Because it's based in duality. It's always looking for something. Achieving something, doing something, winning something, comparing something, judging. That's always the head, or the ego, or the personality, or whatever you want to call it. But don't worry about it. You know, you've lived with it all your life. Just be clear and be here. Just be here. It's not something you have to go out and slay like a dragon. I've got to go and slay my ego. It's just an immature place. That's all.
I heard another teachers and you talking about expectations. And how to have expectations creates suffering. But I don't know if I'm understanding well or not. Can you explain the concept? Because when I think in expectations, I think in the expectations I can have in my relationships. And for me it's normal to have expectations. For example, in an extreme case, if I don't have expectation, I will let the other do whatever. I think I'm not understanding the concept of what is to have expectations.
Okay, so humans always have an idea of how something looks. If you love me, you will do this, 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 and this. And sometimes they complete that, and then you have another list, and another list. Why? Because really, you're not open to be loved. Love is freeing. You might have certain things, certain limits within a relationship. But after that, the more you can give freedom, the more you let go of attachment, the more you love and allow each other to fly, that's real love. Like some people are so controlling, so afraid that they can't allow their partners to fly. And nobody wants to be in that situation because of fear. And if you listen to conversations, it's always got this doubt, this control, jealousy, insecurities, all of those things. Oh, you're having a good time with that person. You're not like that with me. But you should want your partners to be happy with everyone. And then when they come to you, they're even more happy because they've been happy everywhere. Okay, that's relationships. Another thing is expectations of what you're doing, what you're going to receive, how it's going to look. And if it doesn't reach that expectation, you suffer. Yeah? You have to let go of that. If you move into everything from a place of innocence and joy, you'll start to perceive all the wonderful things. Because whatever's coming towards you is perfect for you. It's perfect for you. It's what you need. But we think we have to control it. It has to look a certain way so we can suffer. And you can do it on many levels. You know, you can do it anywhere. You can be in a 5-star hotel and suffer because you don't like the pillows. But the last hotel had these great pillows, so it destroys your holiday. Or I expected the beach to be whiter. Or I didn't think it was going to rain. Or I thought this, or I thought that, or I thought the other. You know, and if you just let go of all the expectations, you can really start to enjoy.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.